That
Now
is
I'm
good.
gonna go and throw this in and say she knew, but she couldn't say that she knew because now you had just told her, Richard, you just crushed her. She put on her red dress, her good panties, she waxed and shaved everything. And then you go,
Nothing
oh, you
like
know
that
what?
happened. That's
Miss
not what it
Jackie.
Hey,
was.
that's even worse. She did all
Yes.
that work
All that work.
and nothing happened.
And then you go,
Oh
oh, by the
God.
way, this isn't a date.
The Best Is Yet to Come is a podcast about dating later in life. It's co-hosted by Tonya Carter, Brenda Yamas, and me, Richard D'Ambrosio. We're all exploring dating from a fun but sophisticated, sexy, and smart perspective. And we're going to be tackling every issue that mature men and women face while seeking love, companionship, and yes, sex. So you can follow us on our private Facebook group and on our YouTube page. Please join us in this discussion about one of the most important things a human being can have, a relationship with a significant other. Welcome to the Best Is Yet to Come Valentine's Day edition. And I will introduce our co-hosts, Ms. Brenda Jamas.
Hola.
And up there in Georgia, Tonya Carter.
Hey, y'all. Do I sound like Paula Dean? Hey, y'all.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
cook like Paula Dean?
Yes,
You
which
do.
is why I'm so round and
Oh,
fulfilled.
Oh,
jeez.
I love her recipes. Oh.
Voluptuous.
I tell you,
Mm.
I could not eat like that on a regular basis.
Oh
It's
no, no,
just
no, you
too rich,
cannot.
her
No, not
food.
all the butter. I don't use
Yeah.
all the butter. It's too much. The butter is too much.
She has a couple of recipes that I do on a consistent basis. Oh
Which
my
ones?
God. She has Natural Mama's banana pudding.
Oh, banana
Oh,
pudding.
It's delicious. And then she has another one, a sausage gravy for biscuits
mm.
that is delicious. And then I do these cream biscuits. Cream, oh,
Did you
they're
learn all of
so
this in
good.
Mississippi?
Okay.
Oh yeah, all
Yeah.
over,
She's
yeah,
in
yeah.
Mississippi. She got to do this. She's in the South.
Yeah, you got
But
it.
but you know, most of my time I lived in the South, so I learned how to
Oh
cook
yeah.
greens and
I
the
did not
grits
know that.
and the mac and cheese. Oh yeah, from
Okay.
South Carolina to
Wow.
Texas.
Gotcha. Well, Texas, boy, they know their do they know their biscuits and gravy in Texas? Is that a
I
is that a
haven't I didn't see it as much as I did in the Carolinas and
Alabama?
Mississippi.
I
Oh,
Yes.
I
always think of
remember.
Texas as barbecue. You
Barbecue.
know,
Well, not for
Yes.
or
breakfast.
Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Man, you can eat barbecue
Oh,
any time of the day and
no.
night.
For breakfast, there's such a large Mexican population. I used to have breakfast
Huevos.
burritos.
Oh
Huevos
yeah.
Yes.
rancheros.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. That's what we ate for breakfast in
You
Houston.
guys are
Yes.
getting me
That's
hungry.
pretty good. I know my daughter's in Anastasia's in Houston now. She called me last night. She's like, "Ma, the food is so good.
Oh,
We're eating so
yes,
good."
yes,
You
yes. I
gotta
love Houston.
travel to remember what food tastes like. Yeah.
Oh,
You have
yes.
to.
I'm looking
Yes.
forward to that again. I did. So I just got back from Portland, Maine. I had clam chowder, New England clam chowder. Wasn't like I
Ooh.
remember it, but I did have it. I did not have lobster, did not have the occasion to have lobster. I was so busy with work and doing some other stuff. So I will be making another trip back up into the Atlantic coast of New England because the lobsters down here in the New York area suck. They're so small. I think they're taking them out of the ocean too quickly. And boy, I saw a couple of lobster on some other people's plates this week that made me
You were
salivate.
salivating.
Pavlov's
I don't
dog.
I don't even eat lobster, but I had Maine lobsters once, and oh, they taste so different, so sweet, so tender. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And if
I'm
you
like,
know how to cook them,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
the
He
other thing
steamed
is
them.
I don't know how to cook them. I
Yeah.
I think I've cooked lobster once in my whole life for my then fiance, and I nailed it that night. It was so good,
Ooh.
Wow.
and I was like,
Did you
oh,
You know,
how did you know you know?
see, this is
what?
Did
too
you nail it
horrible.
because you got some?
I was gonna say,
No, that
what
was
else did I was
before.
gonna say, what else did you nail?
Before.
What else did you nail,
Before.
Richard?
Oh, listen to you, filthy. in the
We
gutter
are so
minds.
filthy. Like both of our eyes were like, okay, what else?
Come on. It's Valentine's Day. If you cook some lobster,
Yeah.
there's a reason
You know,
behind this.
I think it was
mean,
Valentine's Day that I cooked it for her too. I think that was the special occasion. Yeah.
Mm.
Which leads us to the topic at hand tonight, which is this concoction of a holiday, Valentine's Day, holds quite a bit of power over couples and singles. And we are going to be talking tonight about the yay and the nay of Valentine's Day, because some people love it and some people hate it. And funny enough, and today the New York Times actually published a story, an essay about whether or not people hate or love Valentine's Day. And I'm curious to see what they came up with. I did check out, I don't know if you guys checked out the quotes of some of the people. And we're going to break this out into we're first going to focus on the good. We're going to talk about the love.
okay.
And then the second half, we're going to talk about the not so love. But quite a few people chimed in on the comments section and had different opinions about whether or not they are still, fond of it. And of course, a lot of it has to do with memories. Memories of what it was like in the past, and how that romance is still alive inside them, even if they're not with somebody. Other people were complaining because they've been in the food services industry forever, and they
tired of it.
They hate Valentine's Day evening.
Okay.
So I put the question to the both of you. On the yay side, do you have a yay for Valentine's Day?
I say yes, depending on the situation.
And what
I think I think, look, people have different opinions about it, but I think it's tied to very personal reasons, right?
Yeah.
If you're in love and with someone and things are good, then it's great. If you are in a relationship, things are not so good, there might be a lot of pressure to do things you really don't want to do. We kind of had this conversation the other day about, just when things were shitty, when you go to the store and there's no greeting card to say, our relationship is shitty right now, I just pray it gets better, right? Like nobody does that greeting card. So it's like, oh my God, I have to go do something for someone that I really don't want to do because there's this pressure around doing it. I just wish people were more real with themselves. Like, fuck it, things are not good. You know what? Let's just work on each other and let's see if we can make it happen. But don't. And I think that's one of the articles you talked about is, the pressure to do these things when things are not great.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie on the card. I would just get a blank card. Like I have a pack of. I'm looking at the cards now. I have a pack of just a blank cards. Get from Office Depot. You can personalize them, and I'm good for making my own cards. Sometimes I like to make them because I want to go overboard. Because I'm an overboard kind of person with holidays and everything. But then sometimes, because I'm just not capable of faking, they're going to get the real on this paper card. Or you just get a blank card, purchase a $1 blank card, because I don't like them. I'm not spending more than $1 at the Dollar Tree for the blank card. And just write something on the inside, right?
I never thought about that.
You just
That's
do that.
a great
you just
idea.
Get the blank cards. They're cute, and you just write them. But I'm a yay for Valentine's Day, but I can deal with any holiday. I'm not a yay meaning I'm dating, and I want to go get flowers, and I want to go out to dinner. I don't want to do that.
Right.
And I know too many people who curse their boyfriends out, husbands, significant others, girlfriends, whoever, and they're sitting across the table just pissed off. But they got their Facebook pictures. We out here at Valentine's Day. It's like you guys weren't even talking.
Anything for the gram.
Doing it for the gram, exactly. So I'm fine staying home. I mean, I can make a tuna sandwich and stay home. If we really care about each other, I'm going to wear my red. I'm going to do something because that's me for holidays.
Right.
Except for my daughter. I always do something for her.
When I was young, when I was in my 20s and was dating, Valentine's Day was special. You weren't living with the individual. So you weren't constantly, with each other. It was a great way to celebrate this budding romance. And you're in your 20s, everything's romantic when you're in your 20s. At least it should be, I hope. And then, I get married and things kind of changed. It wasn't, after a couple of years, it was like I didn't feel like the other person was putting the romance into the day anymore. And then when I came out of that relationship and started dating again, met this lovely woman, and she was so wonderful about making every single day that we were together special, putting an effort into something in our lives that wasn't necessarily romance, but I guess, if you think about the 5 love languages, quality time, acts of service. And all of a sudden, I didn't look at Valentine's Day with the jaded vision that I used to have, because this person showed me that Valentine's Day was a way of having just one day a year where we went over the top and celebrated this relationship that we had, because we had been doing the work all year. And she really, I remember writing a Facebook post to her, and it usually comes up every year in my Facebook memories. And I wrote a post about that because it came to me, and I was like, I'm going to put it down, and memorialize it. And the feedback from my friends was like, that's what Valentine's Day should be about. It's just one moment in time to really kind of go over the top, celebrate, and remember that you have to put the work in the rest of the year. Otherwise it's not worth it.
Absolutely. It's like you haven't done anything like we talked about, and then you have to create this forced event.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. So
and
there was, and things.
Go ahead. And I was going to mention that Psychology Today article where that doctor, Kristen Mark, had said it's about celebrating.
Right.
That's all.
Celebrating the little milestones, celebrating every day. Like I've said many times on this podcast, right? I tend to look at every day as a good day to celebrate because of not being able to celebrate specific holidays before. But let's celebrate every day. I'm not saying we have to come up with, I don't have to have a house full of balloons every day, but let's celebrate every day. Let's be kind to each other. And then, on Valentine's Day, just a little extra special. Now, I don't like going out on Valentine's Day just because I think it's overpriced, poor quality, and all that stuff.
It is.
It's horrible.
Right.
But
$12 roses for $200.
Right. That's crazy. Dinner, like at restaurants that are like slammed with people and so the service is crappy. It's like, let's just stay home.
They're trying to turn the tables over and, get you in, get you out. Which sitting do you want? Why? How much time do I have?
Right.
It's become such a machine, you know?
So I met a woman online about 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I forget. So I took I was dating a woman for about 3.5 years. We took a hiatus and I went back online after like 45, 60 days into this breakup. And this woman, responds to my overtures and we start talking, on a regular basis, and we're texting each other. We gave each other our cell phone numbers. And then, she finally said, I don't want to waste time. Are you available next week to go on a physical date? And she lives, not even 30 minutes from where I live. And I said, yeah. I said, well, where you live, there's lots of great restaurants. And since I work from home and you commute, why don't I come down your way? I'll get a reservation at a local restaurant. This way, all you have to do is come home from work, do whatever you feel you got to do and meet me over there. And she comes into the restaurant, stunning, statuesque woman in this red romantic dress. And let me tell you, that was a great Valentine's Day dinner. We didn't last much longer. It only lasted a couple more weeks. But those are great moments. And there's nothing wrong with living in the moment of romance, as long as you're not so heavily invested that this has to work and she has to smile at the roses and she, No, you know what? You're just caught up in the moment. Who knows where this thing's gonna go? You had a great meal. It was a nice Italian restaurant. Or I ordered a phenomenal bottle of wine. I never tasted it before. Ordered it. Bam! It was perfect. The meal was perfect. Wasn't that crowded?
Okay.
And I'll tell you, there's something to be said for that.
That sounds like a great day.
It was
See,
a
there
great
was no
day.
expectations. And
It
I go
does.
back to I don't like to have expectations because I think that expectations lead to disappointments.
Yep.
And it's funny because I read that in one of the articles. People have these grandiose expectations of what the day
Yes.
should look like. And when somebody can't come through with all of that, they get disappointed. Then it's a
Yeah.
problem,
Well, the funny thing about this date was because of her job, she only had certain days out of the week where she could stay out late, go to a dinner, have a couple glasses of wine, stay out late because she still had a commute the next morning. And the only day that really worked, and I think I had some meetings somewhere. So I also had it happened to be on Valentine's Day. And so, and when I started calling around to the restaurants in her area and they were like, well, we're all booked up. And I'm like, what do you mean you're booked up? It's a Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever night of the week. And they was like, but it's Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh my God, I invited her out on a date and it's Valentine's Day.
I hope she didn't arrive thinking it was a Valentine's Day,
You know what? We didn't. When she came and sat down, I
The
said to
dress
her,
told the story.
I said to her, I'm so sorry. I hope this
dress
didn't put
told
any
the
pressure
story.
on you. I didn't realize when you and I were negotiating what day of the week it could be that, this was the best day. I didn't even look at the number on the calendar. I just said, oh, next Tuesday or whatever it was. And she said, I didn't know it was either. So we didn't really have all that pressure on our shoulders for that date. Yeah.
Now I'm going to go and throw this in and say she knew, but she couldn't say that she knew because now you had just told her, Richard, you just crushed her. She put on her red dress, her good panties, she waxed and shaved everything. And then you
Nothing
go,
like that happened. That's not what it was.
Hey, that's even worse. She did all that work?
All that work.
And nothing happened?
And then you go, by the way, this isn't a date. Not a date. We just on a date.
It's a meeting, look. It's a
meeting.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Listen, I gotta
Valentine's Day meeting.
I'm sorry if I'm going through all that work and nothing happens. I gotta pass you on the bill.
So that morning I'm working and I'm on Spotify and I must have put on like a Valentine's Day, playlist. And I'm posting some of the songs on my Facebook page. And a friend of mine who lives out on the West Coast sees the songs and she privately texted me and said, what's with all the love songs today? I said, well, I'm going on a date tonight and I decided to put on a Valentine's Day list. She says, oh, you're going on a date. You went and got her roses, right? I'm like, I don't even know her. What do you mean?
Right.
She's like, no. She said, it's Valentine's Day. She said, get your butt over to the florist and get yourself a dozen roses.
Did you? So did you do it?
I did.
Oh,
so we got
only because of the pressure of this friend.
So how did she receive the flowers?
Well, I didn't want to have it be a big thing inside the restaurant.
Okay.
So I left them in the car. It was a cold night, obviously, in February. And I said to her as we were getting ready to leave, I said, look, a friend of mine, noticed that it was Valentine's Day and, was like, you idiot, you've got to do this. I said, they're in my car. I said, I'm going to, if you don't mind, we'll walk over to my car and then I'll drive you to your car in the parking lot. Of course, her car was parked right outside the restaurant. So I walked her to a parking lot to give her the roses and then drove her back and her car was like 4 steps away from the front door of the restaurant. It was the most absurd Valentine's date I've ever been on.
Because you should have just said, I have some flowers for you.
So like the next day, Linda, posted on my Facebook page. So how did the roses go over? And this woman who was my friend on Facebook at the time said they were greatly appreciated. So I guess it worked.
That worked. I mean, you can't go wrong with the flowers. Now, me specifically,
on a brand new date like that doesn't seem like love bombing or something.
No.
No?
I think No.
Okay.
Here in
I'm
Puerto
asking
Rico,
honestly.
here in Puerto Rico, a gentleman, let's just put a gentleman, the few gentlemen that are left.
Oh,
They're raised in us that you never go on a date and you never go somebody's house empty-handed.
right.
So it's like, oh, I couldn't come empty-handed, so I got you a little something. So you see it as, okay, that was very sweet, and I understand the significance of it. It's no pressure. It's just that there's this thing that you just can't come empty-handed,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's I think it's a little bit more forgiving. It's not that much pressure.
So let me ask you, ladies, Valentine's Day, companies do bump up the price of everything. There's a little gouging going on. Does that make you more or less inclined to appreciate if a guy gets you roses? Or does it have no effect?
No effect, because if it's the guy, it's no effect because it's the same rose. Whether you're smart enough to go to the $12 store Memorial Drive and get them the day before Valentine's Day and put them in your freezer, I would really appreciate if he did that. And to just go on Valentine's Day and spend $200 for some roses he could have
Right.
gotten for $29. You know?
I would appreciate the $6 bouquet from the supermarket any
Yeah.
other day.
Right.
Just don't wait for that day to bring me flowers when you
Right.
never brought me flowers
I
before.
agree. I
So like,
agree.
I get it. You did it because you had to, not because
Yeah.
you really thought about it. Because really, if you would have thought about it, you knew that I really don't care for roses, right? I care for
Right.
tulips.
Oh my
Or
God.
Are
Tulips
you
are
a
my
tulips
favorite.
lady, Brenda?
oh yes,
Yes.
they're my favorite.
So am I.
So the
I'm
woman
gonna go.
that
Yeah, I put on my Facebook page I want to go to Amsterdam because they do the Tulip Festival every year in April and May. So I have this whole
Yes.
tulip museum. Anyway,
the woman that I'm dating is the same way. Tulips are actually her
Love tulips.
favorites.
It would have meant a lot more to me if you knew what I liked and then
Yeah.
you actually went out of your way to buy me tulips. Now that would have been like, wow,
Ooh,
that would have wowed
okay.
me. Yeah.
So, chocolates on Valentine's Day.
See, we don't fall in the whole little cache of people, women who have all these formalities or these top 10 lists that we were talking about
Right.
that you have to have. I'm going to be a little aggravated if I feel you checking out the top 10 list. Because to Brenda's point, if you know me, you know I don't have to have that.
Right.
Don't go and get me what is it, Pharaoh, whatever it is, there.
The Ferreros.
Child, get me a Reese's cup, okay? You don't
That's
even
your
have to put it on the
favorite?
list. I'd be like, where is he going for these $100 roses and this doggone $50 worth of candy? Like Brenda says, go to Publix, get me a little fun bunch because I like the little fun bunch, and a couple of Reese's cups, and we're good to go.
Okay.
Because it's just a thought. I don't,
Boy, it's simple dating you.
Well, you know what? It had to be about more than just that. There had to be the whole connection. Now, if you're just being an
Authentic, but
ass, then yeah, I don't even want to date you. But if we truly have a mature relationship, then I mean, as long as you can travel with me,
That's
right?
the
You got a
big thing.
passport,
Yeah.
as
right?
long as you got a
But
passport, we can go.
it's the authenticity of it. Like my favorites are
Yeah.
German chocolates. So if you go buy one of those Square Reader Sport chocolate bars,
Yeah,
cost $3 or $4, I don't know. Give me a few of those.
exactly.
I'm happy. I am so happy.
Yeah.
You don't need to go buy the heart shape, little
It
thing.
doesn't have to
How-
be that. Don't bring me the mixed candy because I hate looking at that little chart.
You mean
I'm like, I don't even like.
You mean like the
I
Halloween
only like
candy?
3 pieces of shit. No, I don't want this stuff with cream in it. Just please bring me a Reese's cup.
You gotta
Make
open.
it
You gotta
simple.
open the
'Cause I'm
box to
like
figure
this.
out
I
what they
got the
are.
lid. I'm looking at the lid, counting. Okay. Oh, there's that. 20 minutes later, I found the 4 pieces that I want, and I just chuck the other
What
one
do you
to the
do with the
side.
rest?
You know what?
Pick
I would
through
throw
them.
them away.
Pick over
Or,
them. Yeah.
Back in the
So
days, I would try to make myself eat it because you don't want to waste. But I don't like all that extra stuff. It's just
it's now. We're not
I
about to
gotta
live
tell you guys.
unauthentic lives. No.
I got to tell you, there is a lot of pressure on a man on Valentine's Day when he's dating a woman, to make it a yay kind of celebration. I do believe it's important that a guy just ask, look, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to offend you. I don't want to overdo it. What would make you happy? Would that be offensive to you guys if someone said, because then does it sound like, oh, he's only doing it because I told him to, or because I gave him the approval? Would you rather have a guy guess? Because that's what goes on in our minds is we're wondering, but if I ask her, let's say you guys were dating long enough that he picked up on it. If he's
Right.
a smart dater,
Yes.
he's just picking up on it throughout the
Yeah.
months leading up to it. But if he's just like dating you in January and all of a sudden here's Valentine's Day in his face, let me tell you, we lose our minds when it's like
My
that
thing to
because
him
we
would
don't know
be
what
to-
you want.
My thing to him would be surprise me because I want to know what I can expect from him in the future. Don't
Okay.
do what's going to make me happy. I would say, you know what? Give me something that you like. Do what you think you would like, because then I want to see who I'm dealing with.
Okay.
If we're dating for some time, then he should already know what I like.